Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another scene set in a Song of Ice and Fire. Tonight, this evening, the two most prominent members of House Daysips convene in Elder's Hearth, in the Stormlands, sheltered from the rain. Severion sits at a small table next to a window as the rain relentlessly pours down, the sound of thunder echoing across the landscape. He has a lot of the candle holders or torch holders have been lit due to the dreariness of the weather, making it appear quite dark, dim, and grey. And Vernon has even lit a little candle for himself at the center of the table to give himself some extra light and warmth, even though he himself is dry. Merilith, you see, I don't know, are you already within Elder's Hearth, or?
Yeah, I guess.
Or are you
Like
drenched?
the. I mean, I suppose Meredith would probably be drenched. I don't know where she went, but she went there,
You
and
can never turn down an opportunity for misery, can you?
no, I already kind of had it in mind that she would walk in. I just don't know where she came from, but
She can have well, I assume she has some sort of way to shield herself from the rain, maybe
yeah,
thick
or
furs or some sort of hood.
kind of a thing of both. Like she has furs, she has a hood that's just made of wool. Simple but effective. Which Meredith kind of like. She's not one for like all the fancy shoes and pretty dresses. She just wants things to be functional, practical, and have a lot of pockets. Um, so so yeah, she walks in and she just kind of throws back her hood. Takes off the heavy cloak that has become even heavier because of rain, and yeah, we'll walk up to her brother, Baranon, and she's just gonna sit. She's not gonna do anything. She was thinking about like doing a mocking curtsy, but she's like, nah, fuck it. So she's just gonna sit down and yeah, look at her brother, look at what he's doing, and then it's like, so you wouldn't happen to have anything to drink with you, would you?
What would you prefer? Some
Um,
wine, beer, perhaps? Or would my younger sister just want to settle down with a cup of ice milk? He smirks.
nah, wine is fine.
Very well. He'll pour you some. He'll pour you some wine. It's Lord Ewan's. It's from Lord Ewan's stock, so it probably tastes amazing because he seems good with food.
Right now, I I take the piss beer that they serve in the inn, if it means getting my throat,
I prefer
Like,
you stay here.
I wasn't planning on going anywhere.
Hmm.
So, what's up, Lord of the House?
He gives you a funny look at that.
She just kind of smirks.
Not much other than leaving the stench of King's Landing, only to re-enter the stench of another town. Lose. Well, it wasn't me who lost the hunting bed, I believe it was Lord Colden who lost the hunting bed to Lord Gallo.
Hmm.
And not much else other than the usual jabs that have long ceased to rouse me. Oh, and a series of petulant demands from a man I would have considered far more rational, but that is nothing new.
You're talking about this wonderful marriage proposal, or
You have less than zero interest in it, I have less than zero interest in it. The Ducats have less than zero interest in it. Only one man has an interest in it. No one is particularly inclined to take them up on the offer.
mm. I still wonder why, though. Like, an attempt to torture his liege lords, or
He wants an
torture her?
excuse to act against us, or to give the Ducats an excuse to act against us. We refuse, they take it as some sort of grievous insult and use it as a precedent that they can use to publicly throw around as so they have justification to attack us in some way.
I suppose. But yeah, no, it's I don't know. This entire thing, it just I can't even say that it bothers me. It just doesn't. I don't really understand it, I suppose.
He would likely claim that we do not understand in some fashion, probably that we do not understand the favor he is granting to us. The truth is likely far more simple and malicious.
Hmm. So, what do you want to do about it? Besides
I'll
just ignoring it.
Well, if the Ducats press the issue, I'll simply politely refuse. I will not state that there has been a misunderstanding. We can play along with that little game. We'll still refuse them. Um, and then we'll go about their business. If they wish to make a hash of it, they can, but frankly, they exist on the other half of the country. The nation of Westeros is large. What are they going to do? Sail the great Ducat navy around the entirety of Westeros into the lands of the master of ships? Treacherous absurdity. This is, of course, assuming even a single ship survives passage, just even making its way around, even within 100 miles of the Iron Islands.
Yeah.
We will have to do very little, I believe, if they decide to take such issue with it. But I don't think they will. I think at most they will keep it to the political arena, and most people will not care. Lord Uland and Lord Cauldron certainly won't.
I
In
don't
fact,
think
it
they will.
would likely become the source of much humour.
Well,
The ducats
humor is important.
getting tangled in some poor old seaweed.
I mean, if humor is what we're gonna be known for, then let's just make the most of it, huh?
I have no intention of being laughed at.
Hmm.
Not
I don't think
forever, at
anyone will
least.
be laughing at you in your face.
Cauldron certainly does. But to be fair, he at least does so with an element of taste. I
Hmm.
can accept that. He does not do so in a malicious fashion.
Interesting, though.
Both Euland and Cauldron seem quite amicable.
I've definitely met worse lords.
Hmm. I haven't seen the other members of his house, of his banner.
Hmm.
I wonder where Ashram went.
Was he with Ulat?
No, I believe he's still miring in the king's dirt.
Hmm.
I've seen little of House Euland's associates though either, well, other than the obvious. The only other figure I can recall was this Ice and Rabe, but I know little of him.
I was gonna say, I don't know too much about him.
He may be an opportunity for us then. Where is that Dornish lady?
You think
Well, I
she
know.
might be an opportunity?
Hmm. We descend from the Rhoynar, and the Rhoynar, much of Dornish nobility is Rhoynar. We share ties of blood, not much else, but it is something.
Hmm. This is something, but as long as the most fancy thing we have is your armor.
We could spend for more. You do have armor of your own.
Yes, but if I wear that, we'll have a quite different problem.
Mm, we can always purchase you new armor.
Perhaps I could sell my old and, I don't know, get something that's a little bit more feminine.
Perhaps something more mobile, more flexible than what you used to wear.
Hmm.
Something that would differentiate you, that would distinguish you.
Yeah. On the other hand, so far I have deliberately stepped away a little from the combat experience. I think that it's not something a lady should. Well, they could be entertained by it, but it shouldn't be for them.
Hmm. I'm not entirely sure I'd agree.
I don't agree either. But
It's wise to know how to defend oneself.
I agree. Were I on my own turf, I would be wearing my armor the entire time.
In
But
our lands, you're more than welcome to. But
I think in this case, it's better to stand a little apart from the rest of our house.
violence is a very distinctive experience. It wouldn't surprise me if the act of it jogged some memories.
Yeah.
I. Perhaps it would behoove us to begin distancing ourselves from Wargal and associating ourselves with other lords.
Which ones do you have in mind?
This, Sir Rave, is an opportunity for us, I think. His station is not quite as significant as I believe he would prefer, given that he is not considered a lord. In this we share a common cause. And he is also possessed of a particular frailty in his leg.
I see.
That might also be exploited as it means we can go and do things that he cannot.
He is the gentleman from King's Landing, is he not?
It would not surprise me if he did not participate in the hunt because of his condition of his leg, in which case you may be able to warm up to him, or get him to warm up to you.
I can always have a conversation with him while you all are hunting boar and bear and other kind of exotic creatures.
Hmm. It's a shame we didn't have a chance to capture a boar last time I went hunting.
It's a shame you had to make me dance with Lord Gallo.
You showed him up, it was worth it. He lost a bet he won.
I should have waged money on it, but then again, I expected him to be better at dancing.
Gallo is a man known to disappoint.
I wouldn't say that too loudly.
Oh no, I don't. We'll just keep it between ourselves. I must say, I am actually quite genuinely disappointed in him. We had a rather equitable series of exchanges and arrangements, and he appears to be sabotaging him to no benefit to himself. Alas, we can always begin formulating ties with Lord Roland and Lord Cauldron. We are closer to their lands anyway.
Can always see if one has interest, but I do not want to. Well, I have no intention of becoming a liege house to any of them. We are what we are. We may not be as wealthy as they are or as influential, but we have our pride.
And that is something that enables us. It is what enables us to stand in the face of those that would consider themselves greater men.
In the end, stick a sword to someone and they all bleed the same blood.
Very much so. So I think formulating ties with them, maybe else's presence. Lesser figures, Sir Connington, is a man of interest. Honourable, powerful gentleman, quite the veteran, but not exactly a man ill-funded. So it may be worth forming ties with them. Also gives us an in into the Stormlands, an inside look.
What are your intentions of how to form ties with them? We don't have
Hmm.
much that we can offer.
That is true.
Like, why would Caldwin or Roland even talk to us? Except from, like, a sense of being polite, cautious.
Hmm. It will take some time. We need more time to build up our own holdings. We do have a community within our lands. It would be, if we could build upon it, it would greatly benefit us. I'm thinking we could turn our lands into a hub of trade. Then other lords would be compelled to sell within our borders, or to sell to those who would sell within our borders, by extension granting us much wealth.
Hmm, I suppose. I see what I can do, but, well, talking to lords in this manner is not necessarily my strongest suit.
Right now we do actually possess something that the mainland would be quite interesting.
Oh?
That would be whale fat and meat.
Hmm.
It is a rare commodity. It is something quite sought after. It could be useful leverage in an agreement to trade. It is not something Stormwatch would have much of. It is not something the Colwins would have that much of.
That is quite possibly fair. Hmm.
It is. We deal on the base level. That is sustenance. That is a useful place to start from. Everybody needs to eat, and fine diners are common in Westeros. The world's made for fine dining. So that is something we can work on.
True.
And where Colwyn stated they had found valuable minerals on his lands.
Hmm.
Hmm. If we could establish something of similar value in our own lands, it may give us something to offer. Maybe perhaps minerals of our own, or salt, or knowledge.
Sorry. So that's our current plan.
The current plan is to make nice, build up as many allies as we can.
Hmm.
Some will be
Well,
more amenable than others, but I would start with the sirs, not the lords.
no, that's fair. You're probably right. We shouldn't aim our arrows too high.
Hmm.
Speaking of arrows, have you managed to find your bow yet? Or is it still missing?
No, it is still missing. But we will venture forth and locate it soon enough. I was going to send John to go fetch it. When we do, it'll give us another leg up. Connections to King's Landing will be valuable, very valuable. In fact, I think that may be our best course of action. Perhaps it may be wiser, yes, not to forge connections of stores, but Surrey, yes. With connections forged, with uh, with that man, with such a power in King's Landing, and to build upon it, Surrey, that would give us something of a key to the rest of Westeros. With King's Landing as our main source of trade, the rest of our goods can make it to the rest of Westeros. We would not even have to bother forming specific ties with other houses.
Well, if you can provide with something that is hard to come by, that is at least something, I guess.
Well, we are beginning with that, so we have something. Just need to continue building up on it. For now, yes, Sarave and maybe also Gallows Banner if she were ever to return. She seems a very different sort of person from Gallo.
You mean Drakemeyer?
Lady Drakemeyer. She seems like a much more reasonable lady.
Yeah, but she seems to look a lot to the more fancier gentleman.
You say that. You say that she offered me her favour in the joust. Unfortunately, pressure from Gallo forced me to reevaluate. It's quite interesting rumors fought over.
Speaking of favors, I've seen the sister of Lord Gallo look at you a couple of times.
Oh, really? Why do you mention that?
Could be useful.
It could be. I'm not sure how independent of a spirit she is.
She seems to want to hunt. She mentioned that on our way to this place.
I am fear she does not know precisely what she's getting into. Those are quite dangerous creatures. But of course, I will be there to assist her in every capacity that I'm able.
I figured you might.
The shining knight am I, no?
I am not going to polish your armor for this. You can do that on your own.
I have people for that. Contrary to what everybody else thinks.
True. I'll let them think.
They can. The more they underestimate us, the more beneficial it is for us. In any case, we have endured long before they came into being, we'll endure long afterwards.
This is true. But then again, a house is forgotten if they don't make a name for themselves.
We're already well on the way to doing that. He looks out the window quite idly. Before we were considered fairly Mormon hedge knights, within little more than a few weeks, we've established ourselves as a power, a lesser power, one that is looked down upon, but one that is now noticed.
That does make our position rather dangerous.
Hmm.
Being
We're in a
that we never
transitional.
have.
Oops, sorry.
No, you're right. Transitioning? No, I
Yeah,
don't know the
transitioning.
English word for that. We're transitioning. But that means that we're getting noticed, but we don't have a lot of power to act.
No, but we are not in immediate risk for the moment. These these affairs, these tournaments, these hunts, these are engaging frivolities that we can use to build a power base. But they do not necessarily put us at much risk. Yes, you will have a fool who will attempt some sort of gauche hunting accident, either upon me or somebody else.
Hmm. Just be careful. I would hate to lose another brother.
Hmm. I will endeavour to remain quite well.
I didn't expect anything less from you.
You shouldn't. Unlike my forebears, I do not intend to rest upon my laurels and simply wait on my island within a shell or home. We will build, we will become great in time. And you will be an important part of it all. Who knows? Maybe you'll even find a man you can tolerate outside of your brother.
I've not yet found one.
No, they tend to be few and far between these days. I believe our sense of tact left us after the rebellion.
Hmm.
Better times, though.
I will be honest, I sometimes miss the simplicity of our home.
Why does that not surprise me? It is strange, though, for somebody who claims to prefer simplicity, you do act in quite a complex fashion at times.
I'm sure you're the only one to see that.
Oh no, much to my chagrin, I think multiple people have noticed. But that is your concern, not mine.
Well, it should be of no concern to anyone. Not anymore, at least.
Well, sadly for you, I am making this a concern for others. I expect you to do the same.
I will do my best, dear brother.
Excellent. Try not to get someone killed while I'm gone. I prefer not to lose another sibling.
Yeah, there's so few of us left.
Yes, dark days for the Daysips, but whenever hasn't it been? The storm won't suit us. Always standing under clouds.
I'm still there.
No. Soon Daysip will shine brighter. But I believe that is all official business I'll have to discuss with you. If the manner in which it was discussed could be considered official business. So, Sir Rabe, Lady Drakemeyer, and Lord Colburn. I think they should be the three folk that we focus upon. Outside the realm of Kingland and that King's Landing, that is. Once we return home,
Yes.
I will seek out the lesser houses. I wish to see what they've been up to while we've been busy.
Well, as long as they haven't started another rebellion, I guess that would be quite boring.
I doubt it, but we have few friends at home. There are a few people on Dragonstone to begin with. It would be wise to have some, I think. In particular, Valyrian. They have, well, consider the name. I believe a minor house may be a very major force in the days to come. We may need to cut them down early.
Did you have someone in mind then?
Not yet. I still need to consider who at home would make for the most reliable allegiance. Once I've sorted that, well, we should be set to grow. We should be safer than our borders at least. I don't think they have anything against us. I don't think they have any reason to befriend us, which will make approaching them difficult. We will need something that they want. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We can focus on Calder and Rabe. And, well, if she appears, Lady Drakemeyer. I suppose you can do as you do. If you aren't going on hunts, I'd suggest you gather information in the court. See if you can make some allegiances of your own, some friends.
I'll see
And
what
I
I
will
can do.
see if I can win the heart of Lady Gallon.
Well, I can only wish you the best of luck with that.
Nothing else will be entertaining for me. Oh, there is one last thing.
Oh.
He sticks his hand into his coin purse and pulls out 3 gold dragons. And just slides them across the table to you. The donkey does not befit you, my dear. Go fetch yourself a horse. A fine courser, if you will. If you manage to haggle the merchant down, I'll let you keep whatever change is left behind, he said.
I could perhaps buy a new pair of shoes. There seems to be a new thing for the ladies in King's Landing. Shoes.
Perhaps shoes with Gallows' face engraved upon the bottom.
They would need to be very big, I can imagine.
That's true. Man's head does outweigh the rest of his body.
I mean, his head would probably outweigh most of him except his ego. I do not
Well,
believe that is actually measurable in any way that we know.
you can always measure a man's ego. If I recall, it is the number of men killed in order to get one's way.
You would know more about that than I do.
So that is my personal wisdom that you don't. A fine horse, my dear sister.
Well, I thank you for this opportunity, my lord. I will be on my way then. See if I can find the stables in this area. Sure, there
Yes.
must be
Oh,
something for sale.
yes, I recommend asking you all your lunch. But feel free to keep the donkey. I believe we'll make a fine pet for you.
Well, we need someone to carry your bear pelt. Would
This
not
is
be me.
true. Very true, very true. Then I shall see you soon, dear sister. Have a pleasant afternoon.
And to you.
He will give her a hearty hug, kiss her on
Aww.
the cheek.
Some ladies would be so jealous.
If only. Yeah. I think we can end the scene there. Thank you, Claire, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you all next time.